And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talking Tech, the weekly podcast from MobileTechTalk. I am your host. I am Dom. Joining me, as mostly always, is Chris and Mark. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
This week is something's happened in the docs. Let's stop messing around with things. This week, actually, not all that much has happened. Luckily for me, because I've been busy with other things, like not a lot has actually happened.
I think everybody in the Western world is just moving towards the oh shit, December is coming, Christmas is coming, oh crap, we need to get stuff done.
Yep.
And then in our case, it's all of that plus, oh shit, we've got to write a Christmas recommendation list.
Yes.
Or in my case, oh shit, I've got to write a review that should have been written 21 days ago.
So it luckily for us, by us I mean like UK people. There's been a couple of things going on like stateside, like the HTC Bolt, but that's not interesting to us. A, because it's the HTC Bolt, and B, it's never coming here. I mean, not under that name anyway. So let's just get into it. This first one came out today. And this is really actually kind of interesting to me. So Barclays is known for really not liking adopting other people's payment methods, whether it be Apple Pay, Android Pay, any of those things. It really like digs its heels in.
Well, to be fair, I think it's not so much that Barclays is really resistant to them. Barclays came out with their own one. Their own NFC payment system some time ago. They've been using it for years. Yeah. So it's not like Barclays is just, head in the sand, pretending these things are not happening.
Oh, Barclays they know it's happening. And but it's like, it would be just as easy for them to support Android Pay, because they're already supporting Apple Pay anyway.
Are they? That was my next question.
They did it like they were the last bank to join in the UK.
Well, they'll be the last bank to join Android Pay at this rate.
Yeah. But Mark's right. They have been doing their own things for a while. They had like these little NFC stickers you could stick to the back of anything. They had like little wristbands. They had everything.
Stickers, they were all advertising them as you can stick them onto the back of your phone.
Yeah.
If you wanted. But of course, you could stick them to anything you wanted. All the cards were NFC. They would also sell you, like Tom was saying, the little kind of, like a Fitbit, but it had, Barclays NFC payment stuff.
Yeah.
So, they've been kind of doing these things for a while now.
Yeah. But that doesn't stop the fact that them supporting Android Pay and Apple Pay would be better in the long run. It's a wider user base. So, like I said, Barclays are kind of the UK bank for just trying weird shit. Because banks are old, banks are very stubborn, banks don't really want to try anything new. Barclays have just decided to say, like, fuck it. Cashpoints where you don't even need your card to take money.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. Like, I genuinely do like that. I think it's up to £100 you can take out, and you can open up the Barclays app on your phone, say, oh, I'm going to a Cashpoint, I'm going to take out 70 quid, here's my PIN. So literally all you do is you tap it on the reader, and then it will say, I think you can also have it to double identify. So you tap your phone, put your PIN in again, and then it'll just give you your cash. That's cool. I like that. I think it should be a UK-wide thing. I don't think it should be a
Northeast.
But no, it's going to be countrywide. But I mean, by countrywide, I mean like all the banks should do it. It shouldn't be like one bank at a time.
Well, this, I would imagine, is going to be somewhat dependent on the ATM hardware, is it not? Because
they have to replace hardwares in the ATM. So that's why they're doing one up north, and then they're doing like another 180 somewhere up north, and then they're going to do about 600 throughout.
Okay, so assuming this won't be only Barclays bank machines.
It's going to be inside Barclays banks. It's not even going to be like out on the street ones, I don't think.
Right. Okay. So basically, this will be in the Barclays branches where they're kind of doing away with staff, and you can go into the branch to use a cash machine.
Pretty much.
Okay, so who's actually going to use this? Because surely people that are paying are happy enough to fire up the Barclays app and essentially use NFC to get money out of a cash machine. Why don't they just use NFC to pay in the shops that they wanted?
I'm going to say, who actually goes into the bank to go to the hole in the wall that's in the bank?
I mean, when I say like it's only going to be in Barclays branches, like most branches also have ATMs on the outside.
Yeah,
I assume they'll also be there. But what I mean is they're not going to be like down the high street with.
Then yeah, they're not going to be linked. It's only going to be Barclays' own machines.
Yes.
Because no other bank is going to roll this out because, well, they have no interest in doing so.
And that'll be in or out. And how many people deliberately go to in or outside their certain bank? They just go to a card machine that says link.
Yeah, I would just go to whichever. Like, I don't.
Cashpoint was the closest.
Yeah, it's the one that's convenient. And to be honest, I so rarely actually use cash. I mean, like, just. Why would I not just pay with my card? Like, why would I go to the bother of getting the cash out?
I think,
like, this it just seems like a nice idea, but it's like, really, am I gonna?
Maybe you're a little late.
I don't know what it's like up in Scotland. Like, I genuinely don't. And but in London, that is the case. Everything takes cards. There is literally no point for this.
Yeah, I mean, literally the only thing
here, like. I don't want to say out in the sticks. I mean, it's a little seaside town, but it's like everywhere takes cash. Fewer places take card than you'd think, and if they do, there is a spending limit. So you have to use a certain amount before you can pay by card.
Let me guess, it's something like £10, £20.
Yeah, five to £10 is like the usual thing. So that's super annoying, which is why a lot of people down here still use cash. I mean, I despise cash. Utterly despise it, and I detest coins. They are the worst.
The thing I find is with cash, if it's in the wallet, it's more likely to get spent.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I hate with
actually, no, I don't find that true. If it's in my bank and I know it's in my bank, I'm like, oh, Amazon.
No, I pay myself.
No, I'm going with, like, if it's in my bank, I consider it to be real money. If it's things in the wallet, that's not real money. It doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm with Mark on this one.
I mean, I generally try and keep kind of a tenner in the wallet just as a, in case. But to me, that £10 doesn't count in my brain as any kind of real money.
See, the other thing I hate
it's already subtracted from the balance.
Yeah, and coins are not so much coins; they are bus tokens.
Yeah,
that's basically all. Because that's the only thing I use cash for. Like the only thing I use cash for.
The thing I still have to use like change for is the vending machines at college.
Yeah.
It's free. Well, and then you actually have to use cash to buy your lunch, but I always go to Subway, so I just use the card.
But yeah, like I do that very similar thing. If I'm going to Subway, which I don't often do, I actually don't generally like Subway that much.
Not too much.
I either go Subway, but there's also a franchised Costa in my college.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
So I go to both of those, and again, they both take card payments. Which means, and they also don't both take contactless. So I use my phone more than anything else. My phone is already out in my hand because I really don't want to talk to other people in the queue.
Yeah.
I order what I want and I just tap my phone and then I'm gone. But there is an actual cafeteria in the college, but they only take cash.
Yeah, that bugs me.
Yeah, and I kind of get why. Like, there is licensing fees with the card machines, and you have to pay more. I get that, but come on.
But there are actual, costs.
There's like transaction fees and everything. Yeah.
There is a cost involving cash. Not only do banks like to charge you for absolutely everything to do with business accounts and processing these things, there is also the cost of somebody then physically having to go to a bank to deposit the bloody stuff. That often kind of isn't generally thought about. But people's time is money. There is a cost to that, and how many hours a week are pissed away by somebody having to take money to a bank to deposit it, versus the amount that it would cost same company just to cover the car transactions.
Can we also say checks are the fucking worst?
So what you cut out, I got something was the fucking worst.
Checks.
Oh,
the five. Yeah, but no, depending on what you do, depending on what you do and who you interact with, they may not be as rare as you think.
Possibly.
I used to work. One of the care homes I used to work in used to pay us in checks.
Oh wow. The only problem with that is you have to wait for it to clear.
5 days for it to clear.
Yeah, see, I get paid cash.
Well, actually, the amount of time checks take to clear depends on
what bank it is with and who you're
well,
with.
Not just so much the which bank, but where the banks are located. Because if you're in Northern Ireland, England and Wales and Scotland, there's additional days for transferring. It also depends on whether it's the same company that you bank with and whether it's the same sort code as. So there are variations. So saying 5 days isn't always strictly true.
That's what everyone tells you.
Well, Mark, it's not instant, is it?
No, although a lot of banks will actually just make checks instantly available.
I want one of those banks. Jesus Christ, I want one of those banks.
Do you still have to use checks then?
I do, yeah, on a semi-regular basis.
See, it's either cash, which is how I get paid at work, which is super annoying because you have to then go straight from work into town to go. And the other one is mobile, account transfers basically on apps. See, that would be nice if you could pay the college through
like a special app for the college, or you could
that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say do a bank transfer, but no, a special app for the college. Now that would be cool.
See, I'd be totally up for the college having a special app, which means I could keep my printing credit up to date. I could keep.
You have printing credit?
Yeah, they fucking charge us for everything.
I said that would suit me.
I mean, there are about 2,500 people at my college.
Yeah, good point. I've got to make the money somehow.
Well, no, I mean, lots of places, do the printing credit thing, although normally they give you a certain allowance.
Yeah, they gave us, when you sign up, or when you start at the beginning of the year, they give you £5 worth.
Yeah.
What is it, like a 10p a sheet or something?
Yeah, never once have I actually had to top these things up, because it's fucking print at home.
No, God, no. The amount I have to print for my course, because I need physical copies of everything in textbooks and stuff.
See that printer?
Yeah.
That's the printer.
Yeah, I have one right here.
Yeah.
I also hate this fucking thing because printers are the fucking worst.
Yeah, well,
everything today is the worst, by the way. I'm not in a good mood. Everything today is the worst. So let's move on for things that are going to annoy me slightly less.
Okay.
So a couple of weeks ago, actually the day after I went to London for the Wiley Fox event, Huawei in Munich held an event for the Mate 9 and the Mate 9 Porsche edition. And a few days after that, in China, they silently introduced the Mate 9 Pro, which is the Porsche edition Mate 9 without Porsche design branding. And now we have the Mate 9 Lite. Kind of. So it's a 5.5-inch 1080p Kirin 655. I think it's 3 gigs of RAM.
3/4 and 32/64 gigs.
Which I really fucking hate when companies do that. It's like
the different RAM.
Storage, but not me RAM.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm fine with you changing the storage, but don't change the RAM.
Yeah, the RAM. That just seems bizarre. Why do that? I don't understand.
To me, that means they then have to updates. They have to write and check twice.
Yeah. I mean,
work.
Exactly, it doubles the amount of software. Okay,
Development
not maybe
costs.
doubles, but it means that they have to do everything twice, and there has to be two separate ROMs running for the thing,
Yep.
and it's just like why? Like why? I mean, how much money does it actually cost you to add in an extra gigabyte of RAM?
So yeah, we've got the 5.5-inch Full HD IPS screen. In 655, 3 or 4 gigs of RAM, 32 or 64 gigs of storage, 3,340 milliamp hour battery. And the important thing is, like the big Mate 9, it's still got a dual camera system on the back. Though, unlike the 20 megapixel, 12 megapixel of the Mate 9 and the newer ones, and the 12 and
problems.
The 12 and 12 on the Mate, the P9 and the Honor 8, the Mate 9 Lite, trying to get like a phone back in these jeans is very difficult.
Do you want to know the solution, Dom?
Don't wear skinny jeans?
Yeah. Just burn them, stop being a hipster.
Yeah, no, man.
Tracksuit bottoms all the way.
I really hate track. I don't own a single pair anymore. I haven't owned a pair of tracksuit bottoms in almost 10 years.
I own literally one pair of jeans. They have not been worn because they are being saved for the works night out. It's been like that way for the best part of a year now.
I haven't owned a pair of tracksuit bottoms in nearly a decade, and I own a good 10 to 15 pairs of jeans.
Well, you might call a 70-year-old in a 21-year-old's body.
Yeah. So the sensors on the Mate 9 Lite is one 12 megapixel and one 2 megapixel. So the color unit is 12 megapixels and the monochrome unit is 2 megapixels. So this is interesting. In the P9 and Honor 8, they were both 12 megapixels. In the Mate 9 and Mate 9 Porsche design, the 20 megapixel one is black and white and the 12 megapixels color. In this one, the higher resolution one is the color. It's interesting. I've asked Huawei for one of these, but they've given me the standard. It's not coming out in Europe. Why do you want one? Which happens annoyingly often, I will say.
Yeah, I also don't understand why companies go, no, we're not releasing it in one place. It's like, really, why?
Yeah. I mean, there are some that I get, like two of the phones I have on my desk here is the Oppo F1 Plus and the F1S.
Yeah,
there's about 40 quid difference between these two, and Jesus Christ, I would never tell anyone to buy this.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I could understand that if it was, oh right, well we're not translating the software into language X or Y.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, there will be English versions. If it was we can't be fucked making a German version and a French version and an Italian version, so we're just not bothering. It's like, well, fine, don't release them in France or Germany or Italy.
But it's not like Android default doesn't have an English option. Like when you download AOSP, one of the default languages is English.
Yes, I mean, going back...
I mean, like, they will have to customize it for EMUI and stuff like that. I get that. Yeah. There is special translation stuff they need to do, but...
Yeah, I mean, to go back, I had the, ages back, a little Mi TV, and it initially came in Chinese, only in Chinese, and you had to, there were guides on how to navigate your way through the OS to turn it into English. And of course, English was entirely on there. In everything, absolutely every single tiny detail. You could just flick a switch and boom, it was all in English. So why not release it? I mean,
well, I said I'm really not a fan of big phones, and it's very well known that I don't like big phones. But
and I'm the opposite.
I would genuinely like to test this one out.
I'm not fussed.
Sorry, Chris, what were you about to say?
I was going to say I hate small phones. Like the Moto G4 Play was 5 inches, and I could not dream of going any smaller. I don't get how people are still using iPhone 4Ss for crying out loud.
They are surprisingly heavy. By the way.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
It's
The
not,
small, the heavy. It's like having a tank in your pocket.
It's not aluminium. It's stainless steel.
Yeah.
It's not aluminium. It's steel. It's and relatively thick glass as well.
And it's still cracked like what?
Oh yeah, and it's still cracked. Well, it was glass on a plastic substrate, so
yeah, I suppose
like, all the shock from the metal frame went through the plastic substrate and shattered the glass. So yeah, that the Mate 9 Lite is kind of. I mean, we usually see this with like a light version of a flagship phone, and I usually don't care about them. And I actually don't care about the Mate 9 all that much. The only reason this is interesting, I want to see how that dual camera setup fares to the other ones.
The only issue I really kind of have with this device is I'm really not a fan of the naming convention where they make a light version of something.
Also, can we go through how they spell light? LITE. No, don't do that. Don't be like that. Meh.
I can understand like a plus version.
Mm-hmm.
Or
so what do you like? Mate 9 Pro, Mate 9 Minus, or something like that.
I think what you should do is if they wanted to do like a Mate 9 and then do the Plus, which is the same phone but bigger, or make a Minus, which is the exact same phone but a little smaller, but you keep all the specs exactly the same. Yeah. Everything is identical. The only difference is the physical size of the object and maybe the battery size.
If they change size, I imagine they'd have to change the battery to
accommodate for the bigger screen. And that's sensible.
Possibly the screen resolution, depending on what the biggest one is.
Depending
on how big and how small you go.
No,
because to my knowledge, there is no mainstream Quad HD screens under 5 inches.
So fine, don't use Quad HD. Make 1080p. To be honest, I think adding more pixels on a phone is silly.
That depends how big you go, though. Because whilst 1080p for me is fine, like my mum's got a Xiaomi Mi Max, which is 1080p on 6.4 inches. Like loads of people are bitching about 1080p on the Mate 9 at 5.9 inch.
Yeah, I think people might just bitch, but
just go 1440p. Don't go for the full 4K. Go 2K or something.
Yeah.
No, I think. I think unless you're going to like something ridiculous like 20 inches, 1080p is fine.
Yeah.
Even at 21.5, 1080 is fine.
Yeah, I mean the computer monitor I'm using is like 1920 by 1200, and it's 24 inches, and I'm not sitting going, "Oh my god, it's horrible! How can I possibly look at it?"
I mean, I've got a 29-inch 2560 by 1080, so it's an ultra wide, but it's still only 1080 vertical pixels.
Yeah, exactly.
This is perfectly fine. I'm like half a meter away from it. Granted, I have terrible eyesight, but unless I am like right up to the screen, I don't think I've ever been like, oh my god, this is so low res.
Exactly.
Like,
so I think the whole resolution thing on phones is just a spec wars. It's not because they're actually needed. It's just because people go, "Ooh, look, we've got more." So more is better. But to go back to what I was kind of angling at was with the naming convention, I find that calling it light. This isn't a Mate 9. It has nothing in common with any of the other Mate 9s. So don't call it a Mate 9 Lite because it's not a Mate 9. Call it something else.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Or a Mate 8. They did a Mate 8, don't they? Yeah.
You are that one internet troll that I just want to punch all the fucking... Let's move on before someone else gets really pissed off on this one. Seeing as you annoyed me just now, Chris, you can speak about this next one.
So, yeah, Daydream. Basically, Android's version of VR.
Which is not to be confused with the old Android feature called Daydream.
Yeah, which was like
it's a screensaver, essentially.
Yeah. So basically,
which I actually used until like 2 months ago.
Wow, really? I just have my screen go off.
No, it's because I use it as an alarm clock, and I have it in a dock. So I had dash clock with the time, date, and a certain notification plugins. So if I just looked over at my phone the time would just like fly by, and it'd say like 3 emails or whatever.
Oh, see, I find I just let my
But
screen
more
go
and more
black.
phones were shipping with a Daydream broken, so it was
Yes.
becoming harder and harder to test. So in the end, I just stopped using it.
Yeah, so basically the Moto Z Droid and the Z Droid, am I saying that
Z.
right? So I didn't
Z.
think I was saying it right. Z Force are which are only on Verizon, may I add. Now
Versions, but they're not.
Oh no, it's the Force is only on Verizon. Sorry.
No, the Z Droid and Z Droid Force and Z Droid Play are all Verizon editions with the Droid, but the Z Force and Z Play are all international models as well.
I get confused with Motorola and the way they do that.
You're not the only one. Just if it has Droid in the name, it's a Verizon phone.
Nice, I remember that.
Yeah, Verizon paid lots of money to get it.
Yeah.
But no, sorry, I was listening to a conversation outside. Yeah, they've basically.
I think the podcast was as well. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, no. So basically, they've now got support for Daydream, which is so far I believe it's just the Pixels, and I want to say the Axon 7's got it for some reason.
Yep.
Yeah, they're the only now 5.
Yeah.
If I can math.
If you can math, yes, you can. So it's the 2 Pixel phones, the ZTE Axon 7, and the 2 Motorola phones here. So Moto released an update to Nougat, however you want to say it, Android 7.0.
Not 7.1, may I add?
Yeah, not 7.1. That is still exclusive to Pixel users with the latest November security patch. So yeah, that's it. So both Moto Z devices have Quad HD AMOLED screens. They're going to look great in Daydream. And again, now we can actually buy the Daydream View. Well, not we, because we're in the UK, but now the Daydream View is actually purchasable. More people will be able to use it. And they say that despite being released on August 22nd, only 0.3% of 0.3% of Android devices have Nougat.
Are you surprised?
No, but I am now one of those people. As of
I've been one of them people for months.
Yeah. But
which device is that on, by the way?
Huh?
Which device is that on, by the way?
The Honor 8 got its Nougat and EMUI 5 beta update today.
Oh, okay.
And it's got good things like, an app drawer, a notification
they brought the app drawer back.
A notification shade that's not destroyed and broken, a multitasking menu that is like the actual Android Rolodex. It's amazing things that I can't believe they only just added. But yeah.
Although I can't believe you didn't just have your own launcher installed on it anyway.
Oh, I do.
Anyway.
That's what I did.
No, I do have my own notification. I do have my own launcher, but there are certain things that were just broken and just like really bad. They would change for change's sake, and then that was annoying. But EMUI 5 is a lot closer to stock. It looks like stock with a custom theme rather than
I don't mind that.
Rather than a ground up redesign, which is what previous versions were. So,
which is basically what the likes of Samsung, HTC, and all that lot do.
Yeah. So the discussion this week is whether or not you'd rather have the most up-to-date phone, like all the time, or have your phone kept up to date with the important things like security patches.
So basically, we're asking.
So would you rather have the next version of Android the day it's announced? Or would you rather get the security patches of the day they're announced?
Yeah. So do you want the latest software or the latest hardware?
No, it's do you want the latest software or the latest security software, I guess. Would you want the newest toys or the newest locks is essentially.
So the hardware or the software? Please.
Well, no, it's not. It's
no,
not
I'm getting confused.
It's one of the things that Apple still does a lot better is updates.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the day iOS 11 is announced and released, by the end of the week, a good, 80% of the people that own iPhones
and
or iOS devices
to them will have been
will have
trying
iOS 11. Yeah.
And they'll be trying constantly for that week whilst the servers can't handle the load and keep crashing all the time.
But as we're saying, we are months into Nougat being announced, and it's only on
practically
0.3%.
No one has it.
Exactly. But would you rather have the iPhone way or what BlackBerry does, which is the day the new security patches is out, all the BlackBerry Android phones get that patch that day? I personally would rather the BlackBerry way than get the new thing all the time. I'd rather know that, because I've got what are they called? I've got Android phones that got system OTAs to Marshmallow that still have like the December security patch, stuff like that. See, and then they got these OTAs in like February or March. I'd rather my phone be safe, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, see, I was going to say, I find, and if anyone followed me on Twitter when I was looking at possibly buying a BlackBerry Pro or looking into a new phone because I was bored of the 6P, I found one of the things I was saying to myself was there is not anything in Nougat to straight off the bat you notice. There's not really. It's not like I want to say Marshmallow had the redesign, or was that Lollipop?
Lollipop.
There's no really big major design tweaks, so I would probably have to.
I will say that, though. I will say someone's on the phone. Someone needs to pick that up. Notifications on Nougat.
Oh yes,
so much better.
Yes.
I dread going back to a Marshmallow phone now.
Yeah,
I've only had it for like 6 hours.
Yeah, now you say it, that's probably the only feature.
But again, that's not an immediately obvious end user change. That is like you've used it for a couple of hours, a couple of things have come in, and then it's like, oh, that's convenient.
You could live without it.
I just don't want to.
You just don't want to anymore. So I would have to agree and go, yeah, why not have security patches? Because I'll admit, even the 6P skips a couple of months every now and again on security patches. I think earlier last week, I think we had a security patch, but that was. I don't think we didn't have one for October. I know we had one in September. Yeah, on a 5th of November security patch. So we definitely skipped October, and we may possibly have skipped September's. Although I feel like they only seem to skip every other month.
Yeah. Whereas BlackBerry, every month on the day, I said, yes, they don't have many devices to update. There is the DTEC 50 and 60 in the proof.
Yeah, that's 3 devices.
But they make sure that without a shadow of a doubt, you are getting that security update. And because it is their reputation on the line, that is what they're known for. And they want you to be comfortable in the fact that no matter which of their phones you bought, you're getting an up-to-date and a secure phone. What about you, Mark?
Well, in general kind of software and security things, I feel that Android needs to go the way of Windows.
Yeah, I think we've had this discussion before, which is Google holds the update prowess, and the OEMs add on things otherwise, but it doesn't impede the upgrade process.
Yeah, exactly. If baked in on some level of Android, there is very basic driver support for the making calls work, making the screen work and whatnot. The way that the very basic stuff is built into Windows, you can install Windows on essentially any hardware. It will work, not always great off a fresh install. So you then install separately the drivers to make your graphics card work nice, drivers to make your sound card work nice, and all the other bits and pieces. Android needs.
The problem with that is you have to get companies like Qualcomm playing nicely, and I don't really want to do that.
Well, they don't, but I'm sorry, but Google is big enough to make it happen.
Yeah,
You know, I'm sorry. It's like, you know, Qualcomm might be a big company, and if Android or Google just say, well, fine, Qualcomm, if you don't want to make generic drivers available, that's absolutely fine. It's your product. You have that right not to. So we're officially from the next version of Android not supporting any Qualcomm CPUs, period.
That sounds great until you realize that 90+% of the Android market is Qualcomm devices.
Yeah, but there is alternatives available. If all of a sudden Google said you cannot use Qualcomm chips, OEM makers, unless you want to make everything incompatible, some other.
I agree with you. I want them to be held accountable. I just don't think.
Yeah, you know, MediaTek and whatnot, they would absolutely be happy, I'm sure, to comply.
And so would Samsung with the Exynos chips.
I'm going to say Samsung got their own chips as
well. Yeah,
there's
lots
of alternatives. The one thing I miss TI OMAP. Like the OMAP chips, everything was open source.
Yeah.
Everything. That's why there are Nougat builds for the Galaxy Nexus.
Yeah. And
a phone that was
Google
released
could
in
make
2012.
this happen. If Google cared, they could make it happen. And I think, I don't think any of these things are likely to happen until there is some massive, massive security breach that causes tons of problems. And, suddenly, there's going to be a period where everybody looks at Android and says, oh, don't get an Android phone because they're insecure.
And everyone will then start running to iOS.
Mm. Yeah. And Google will have no one to blame but themselves.
What was I going to say? I agree with everything you've just said, to be honest. But abstracting Android that far away, so that Google can update Android in the background, and then you don't see a change until Huawei upgrades EMUI. That is a great idea and a great goal to strive for. I just don't think the structures are in place to let that happen sufficiently yet.
I think everything is there. It is in place. Google just don't care. If Google cared, they could. This is Google, right? We're not talking about some teeny tiny little company that is held together by glue and shoestrings.
No, they're also not like a limitless, boundless company they have almost unlimited funds. I'll give them that, but they are not omnipotent and omniscient.
No, but if they cared, they could make it happen. It isn't happening because Google just doesn't care. Well, and to be fair, I think a lot of that is Google's partners in the actual handset manufacturers, because they don't want their devices to be readily updated. They want them to have a limited shelf life, which is why they're sealing in all the batteries, is because when they start to go, your only real option is buy a new one. Not update it.
The one thing they could do, like right now, like drop of the hat, they could, not Android, this is not Google, this is SoC vendors. As soon as they EOL a product, open source it. As soon as, say, Qualcomm says, all right, the original 800, 600, and 400 chips are end of life, open source the CPU and the GPU and the radio drivers, so the open source community can then update it. Then what?
But they don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, they don't. It's out of that. Then they because they could say, "Oh, it's out of
life." When they end of life something, they want you to expect that it is end of life, so you need to throw it away and buy a new one.
Yeah, I know. I get that, but that's my wild dream. That's never going to happen. So, whilst no one's saying anything, I think I'm going to. What have we got up for review this next week? I have this boy here, the Wiley Fox Swift Plus 2, which is definitely going up this week. I know I promised that last week, but it is going up this week.
I've got, not on me physically, because I sent it back, like I said, about 21 days ago, the Moto G4 Play review left to finish. So that should be up by the latter part of the week.
Yeah, can I just point out when people are saying that sounds, if you actually look at the current queue depth, I just posted something and the next available day was the 29th.
Okay, yeah, so it's going to be the week after that then.
Yeah, well, I tried.
I tried. That's another week. Doesn't matter if I don't get it done.
I mean, mine is pretty much done. I just have to edit some photos at this point.
Mine's literally half written.
It's all written and stuff, but I've taken product shots, so when you just have to like clean them up and stuff like that, because you never get it right the first time.
I have to drop them straight in.
All right, so we know what I've got and what Chris has got. So Mark, let's all light a fire, get a cup of tea, and
okay, right. Well, if we can for a moment, just ignore all the things that are currently in the queue, because I suspect those things I've started putting away because I can't remember. Oh yeah, not including the 4 things that came in this morning.
Jesus Christ.
So there are a variety of things. I can't remember if I mentioned got some headsets the other day. These are currently not plugged in, because if they do, it'll take over the mic and the headphone. But these glow, and they even have a little light on the end of the mic thing.
These are the ones we tested the other night, aren't they, Mark?
They are indeed.
Yes, and I will say that sound quality, basically, was just a deeper version of the C920, which is what Mark is currently using.
Yeah, so, I mean, that, I can't remember the exact price off the top of my head, but I think it's on like 40 quid, which is, I think is pretty great for the money. Of the things that we have, I think these are from One More, and I think maybe we'll kind of focus.
Yeah, there we go.
I think these are the dual driver ones compared with the triple driver ones I had some months back. Those are really quite good and interesting. Here's some things from Syllable. Yeah. They sent some stuff. We've got some big headphones from Bluedio. And these have a total of 12 drivers in them.
Jesus Christ.
Because why not?
Yeah, I kind of think at 12 is perhaps a little bit overkill, but, they're actually...
12 is where you start to think overkill?
No, in headphones, generally 2 is mostly where I'm thinking you're starting to get into overkill. But hey, they've got 12, so that's a thing. And... picking up what's came in today, because these nobody will have seen, and I haven't actually opened any of them yet. So we have those, and they look kind of interesting. Yep, and we've got some other ones from AccuTone.
Oh, those are an odd shape, but okay.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Those?
Nope, those are the weird shape. Those are the weird shape.
I think they're basically the same shape. And we've got those.
They're not shape.
People can see.
That's pretty average.
Yeah. Reflection monitors. So there's those. There's basically a heap of other things that have been skimming around. What the other thing? Yeah. There's just like boxes and shit all over the place. We've also got this coming up. Which is a mouse, and you can change when you change the DPI settings, the colors change.
That would flick anyone that has OCD.
So you can also go into the software, and you can also play about with some things. But yeah, that again for the price that's coming in at, I think it's 25 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not always so great at remembering the prices of things. Because, numbers are just numbers.
You are forgiven, seeing as the amount of things you get.
Yeah, and what other things we have? We have some headphones from UMI. And
that case sounds pretty solid, not going to lie.
Oh, metal tin that they come in, which is really nice.
Chris, you missed the one last week. The one last week could have been used to beat an intruder in your house.
Okay, I'll go back and listen to that one.
All right, so yeah, that was the one that John was talking about. This one.
Jesus Christ!
Right.
Jesus!
Yeah, this is the one I was saying. I wanted somebody. I mean.
I wanted someone to break into my house so I could beat them with it.
I want somebody that has access to like a university engineering department and a hydraulic press to get one of these and show just what level of force it is required to crush it. Because holy shit, like, I mean, this is the sort of thing that you see videos on YouTube with like people, shooting with rifles. Because this, I mean, it's $25 for a case, but wow, it's just incredible. But yeah, so to go back, we have the things from UMI, which are there, and we had a speaker from them, and I'm not entirely sure where I
put it.
Yeah, I think I maybe threw it in the pile with the Bluetooth speakers. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I think
actually, I don't know if it's going to come across if I enhance the lighting. I don't know if you can see the buttons.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's quite fun. It also has NFC built into the top. So to pair it, you literally just wave your phone across it, and it will request pairing. So that's nice. And yeah, there's probably other things I'm forgetting, and there's just boxes and shit.
Boxes everywhere.
Right,
so just like boxes everywhere.
Whilst Mark is finishing that, I am going to. I don't know if these two have picked a product yet. My hardware pick of the week is there is no price limit this week.
Oh, thank God for that! I was just about to quickly hit Gearbest up looking for something.
I couldn't find one. I couldn't find something I wanted to show under 50 quid. But I did find the Olympus M Zuiko digital ES-M 17mm lens. It's a micro four thirds lens. It's 17mm. It's f1. I think it's 1.8. I think f2.8. Sorry. Yeah, it's just a really nice wide angle lens. It's Cam Bunton from Pocket Lint uses this. A lot of people use this lens, and it's just a nice upgrade to the 14 to 42mm kit lens I have.
And how much does it come in at?
It's £190.
Okay.
Which is £120 off.
Wow. I
mean, the newer version of this lens is £430.
Ooh, I think I just had a mini heart attack.
Yeah, that's why this one's dropped so much in price, because the new one's come out and it's a lot cheaper. So yeah, that's my hardware pick. It's Olympus 17mm micro four thirds lens. So who wants to go next?
I might as well. So literally just caught me off guard because I totally forgot. And no budget, so I managed to keep it under 50. But I would say the pick I would have is obviously the ModMic 4.0, which is what you are actually listening to me now using. I actually got this as a birthday present because as of today recording it is my birthday, so it was a birthday present.
Well, happy birthday, Chris.
Yeah, now I can go out and drink.
You kept that one quiet, mate.
Yeah, no, it's just another day off the calendar to me, another day closer to dying, but I won't go there.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
And that's me sober. So,
you'll get closer to being a jaded, cynical bastard.
Yeah, well, once you kind of like go post 21, you realise that the next birthday of any significance is 30. Then they start to just all become depressing.
Yeah, but no. So obviously that's what you're listening to me on. And if anyone, if anyone followed Mark's review of the Super Luxes, you'll know he raved them. I then kind of brought a pair and loved them, so I didn't want another pair of headphones. So ModMic, you've probably seen it all over YouTube. Little bass, and you just pull, and it clicks back on, and that's just deliberate.
Magnets, yo.
Yeah, magnets. And I've just seen the audio spike.
Yep.
Yeah, warning head.
That.
Yeah, I might have
well, at least I'm not the one editing it.
Yeah, I'll just leave it.
So how much is the mod mic?
So the one I have is the omnidirectional one with a mute switch, as you can see sitting there, and it is 40 quid.
Wait, that's not bad actually. That's a lot better than I thought.
And you get 2 basses.
So you can put on 2 pairs of headphones.
Yeah, a ridiculously long cable. I don't know how long it is, but there's just like a clump of it, just about that thick, just behind the computer. And you get a really neat cover, like case that it slides in, and some little, I don't know if these show up very well, but they're basically, it's their little joiners that keep your wires together.
Cool.
The only thing I don't like is that it gives you 1 alcohol prep wipe for 2 bases.
Yeah. I mean, they're not expensive, but it'd be nice to have at least 2.
One thing I will say is you have to keep it. I got this this was brought off Amazon, and I had been watching it on Amazon for some time, and the prices go up and down all the time.
Camel. It's a great site.
Yeah. But no, so that's I tested this with Mike the other night, and he said it was fine, and don't know how I sound tonight.
Sound just as good, if not better than always.
Yep.
All right, lastly, Mark, what do you have as your pick?
Okay, this is something that was going to probably come up in my Christmas picked list, but I just happened to see it. Now, this is something I reviewed sometime back.
I love that, the design on that.
See, I don't.
I love it.
I'm with Mark on this one.
See, I'm the one that wants an extended mouse pad that has a world map on it just because it looks different. Heck, I'm the one that brought a keyboard that each row has a different backlight colour.
Yeah,
that keyboard you threw in chat gave me like ocular cancer.
I've got used to it now.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
you can also get used to herpes. You just don't want it. Sorry, Mark. Carry on.
That's okay. Yeah, so looks-wise, I'm not completely in love with this, but this version of the 2 that I reviewed, this is the Bluedio AS. No BT on the end, although it does have Bluetooth. More importantly, what this has, and is the reason why it's getting picked, is it has Wi-Fi.
Which is JD as fuck.
So it means with
Wi-Fi is great in speakers.
Yeah.
No, I remember when Mark was saying he said that he had problems. He found it was a bit janky.
Oh, the setup for it kind of does it very slowly. It doesn't change mode very quickly. So I was kind of pushing the button, expecting it to be doing something, and then not pairing. And it was driving me mad until I got a nice little video from Bluedio, and they basically said, do it and hold and wait and go really slowly. And then it worked, and it worked fine. So with this having Wi-Fi, it means it is AirPlay compatible, which is kind of handy because this thing is like 50 quid.
That's really good.
So 50 quid, little Wi-Fi, for AirPlay. If you just want a little AirPlay speaker to go in in your kitchen or your bathroom or wherever.
Is it waterproof?
No.
So I won't take it in the bathroom then.
Well, I wouldn't put it in the bath, but
you can have it in the bathroom on like the other side of the room. It looks big enough to pound through.
Yeah, just wrap it in a towel or something.
Just don't put it near the fucking bath, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know why this is so difficult for you.
Because my bathroom is literally, you walk in and then the bath's next to you. That is it. And the sink's in front of you.
Then
so
you
no matter
put it
where
in
you are,
bloody
you're close.
sink.
Yeah, I mean, you just... Okay, well, assuming you don't have problems with water going everywhere, just put it somewhere fine. Cause,
I think that's not a problem most of us have. I think it might just be a Chris thing.
Potentially. But, as features go, I think it's handy as hell. It's super cheap for 50 quid. I mean, how many AirPlay speakers can you get any other AirPlay speakers for that price?
I mean, AirPlay is pretty much dead in the water at this point.
You think?
Yeah.
No. Apple is really like it had when it was introduced with like iPhone 4-ish, it was like really pushed, and it's like solely been de-emphasized all the time. It's still great, don't get me wrong, and I think it's still 10x better than Bluetooth. I just think Google Cast for audio is a better protocol.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to disagree with that because I think this is a fantastic solution. But also, what is really, really super cool with it having Wi-Fi built in and the AirPlay functionality, you can also use this as a Wi-Fi extender. It will refeed the Wi-Fi signal that it picks, and it will rebroadcast on on a separate channel. So
that is very good.
All for 50 quid.
That is I like that.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean that's where this stands out. I think the fact it's priced so keenly, the amount of functionality it has, and it can double as Wi-Fi extender too.
Cool. Well, that is our podcast. That is the podcast this week. You can get us at www.mobiletechtalk.co.uk. The site is at mttfeed on Twitter. I am at mobile_dom. Mark is at Mark2410, and Chris is at ChrisWallace959. Instagram is Mobile Tech Talk. Facebook is Mobile Tech Talk UK. YouTube and Google Plus, search for Mobile Tech Talk. It's just so much easier. And last but not least, our Patreon, patreon.com/Mobile Tech Talk. If you give us a bit of money, we can make better shit for you. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, gentlemen. All three of us have things to do. So
Chinese is my agenda.
Oh, God, I wish I had Chinese tonight. Anyway, goodbye, and thank you for joining us. See you next week.